We're WVBR and WVBR.com. Okay, teeming multitudes, please welcome for the last set of the evening, Andy Revkin.
Hey. So thank you, Stalwarts, for hanging in there. It's been a pleasure to be up here in Ithaca. I've been kind of searching through my musical biography and figuring out what to play, and I got to tip a hat to Leo Kottke. When I was first learning guitar and I was a teenager, there was this guy who did this ridiculous things I cannot do, but I tried to at least do some reasonable approximation of some of the things he used to do, and he still does. And there was a song called Louise that he did not write, but that I learned from his repertoire, and so I'll try it here. Well, they say Louise was not half bad. It was written on the walls and window shades. And though she'd act a little girl, a deceiver, don't believe her, that's her trade. Sometimes a bottle of perfume, maybe a flower or some lace. Men brought Louise 10-cent trinkets. Their intentions were easily traced. And though at times they knew she cried, women like Louise, they get by. Everyone thought it kind of sad when they found Louise in her room. They'd always put her down below their kind. Still some cried when she died this afternoon. Louise rode home train somewhere to the south, I heard them say. Too bad it ended so ugly. Too bad she had to go that way. And the wind, it's blowing cold tonight. So good night, Louise, good night. So along those lines, there was this, in 1981, I spent the summer teaching at a camp in Maine, and the Bar Harbor Library had a book sale. And there was this little book, Sea Songs and Ballads by C. Fox Smith. And I was leafing through it, and they're really awesome. It was written around 1917, and I bought the thing, and I took it home, and I fell in love with these poems. They were poems. They weren't written, there was no music or anything. So I set a few of them to music. They've been set to music by more than a few people, turns out. And it turns out, and I only learned this much, much later, and decades later, at a Clearwater festival when I sang one of these songs, which was kind of sexist. It was sort of a sea song, you know, body. And some people in the audience were a little upset about that. And so I looked into it. Turns out C. Fox Smith was a woman. She wrote in the style of a bawdy man, sort of ocean ballads. So I wish I had known that when people were badgering me about the song, because it would have been a fun comeback line. But anyway, this one is a ghost story called The Return. And so again, I set this to music a while ago. And I haven't performed it. I'm not sure if I ever performed it in public, but let's try it. When did your ship dock, Jim Dale, that you come so late this night? Long since I heard the clock strike 3, and it will soon be light. Well, how did you get in, Jim Dale, with the doors all locked and barred? I never heard you knock or call, or the dog bark in the yard. They told me you were dead and drowned in the South Seas, cold and far. The tale was told in Paddy's pub and at old Clancy's bar. Why do you look at me so sad, so strange, and shake your head? They told me you were dead and drowned. I cried, my poor eyes red. And it's hard for a girl to walk alone. You know it's hard for a girl to walk alone, for one who's dead. He pointed to her faithless name on his bare chest tattoo, and ever the dripping sea and streams ran from him where he stood. One moment and she saw him clear, the next and he was gone, like a fitful moonbeam through the room, passing but no moon shone. She heard no lifting of the latch, no footstep on the stairs. No board creaked in that old house to show he had been there. And up the street and down the street, not a man could she behold, except the cloaked policeman on the beat, stamping his feet in the cold. And it's hard for a girl to walk alone. You know it's hard for a girl to walk alone. I said it's hard for a girl to walk alone, for one who's dead. that came from. Could do a whole night of sea songs from that book. But I'm going to shift into another mode as well. Here's one where my journalism kind of crossed over into my songs. I was in Washington maybe 11 years ago. The Iraq War was on, and I was there doing probably one of my reporting gigs. And I was on the metro, going past the Arlington stop, and a family got on, clearly coming from a funeral at Arlington. And I just, as a journalist, you're always, especially in Washington, you always kind of listen. You listen, and it's just what you do. Anyway, someone was saying to someone else that they had learned from the person officiating at the funeral that Arlington was running out of room. I thought that's weird. And, I might have written a story about it. It's not really it is a sustainability story, isn't it? If our cemeteries are running out of room because we keep up our habit of war, that's not sustainable. But it turned out that a wonderful reporter at the Baltimore Sun had already done an article, a really beautiful article about this issue. And it's been in the news a lot off and on. But I kept saying to myself, where will they go when there's no more room in Arlington? So this became one of those situations where it felt more like a song than like a story. So I worked on it for a little while, and my buddy Pete Seeger really liked this one too. He wrote a note to folk DJs saying, "Play this song. Play this song." It's called Arlington, no surprise. And I fact-checked it. In 1864, the burying began. To spite that rebel Robert Lee, we took away his lands. Just outside of Washington, his hills spread far and wide. Soon corn gave way to crosses as young soldiers died. But where will they go when there's no more room in Arlington? Arlington, the hills go on and on, grave veterans and fresh fallen side by side. Bugles blow and caissons roll 24 times each day. At that rate, in 15 years, there'll be no place to lay in Arlington. In Arlington. Private William Christman was the first one we laid down. Now there are 250,000 in that hallowed ground. In Mrs. Lee's rose garden, we buried near 2,000, those just the boys who fell down at Bull Run. But where will they go when there's no more room in Arlington? Arlington, the hills go on and on, grave veterans and fresh fallen side by side. Bugles blow and caissons roll 24 times each day. At that rate, in 15 years, there'll be no place to lay in Arlington. In Arlington. From the war to save the Union, and the war to end all wars, and all the battles ever since, all fought on distant Bugles blow and caissons roll 24 times each day. At that rate, in 15 years, there'll be no place to lay in Arlington. In Arlington. In Arlington. In Arlington. In 1864, the burying began. Thank you. Again, thank you, Phil, for 48 years, and let's go to 50. Come on, just keep it going. So this song, here's another true story. This is another ghost story, actually. Wait, can you have a true ghost story? Well, actually, it grew out of a true story. I was in a band for a little while in the Hudson Valley called Uncle Wade, and the drummer, Jerry Krennick, is from Pennsylvania. His great-grandfather was a miner, and sometime around around the year this guitar was built, 1927, he was killed in a mining accident. But the circumstances were really spooky. It involved a bird flying in the house and the wife saying, "That's a bad omen, and don't go to the mine." And he's a macho guy like so many of us are, and he went to the mine and didn't come back. So when Jerry told me this story, I said, "Jerry, Jesus, that's got to be a song." It's called Blackbird. It has nothing to do with Paul McCartney, as you'll see. Blackbird sits on our windowsill in a cage of twigs and twine. My sweet Marie says she'll never set it free. I'll tell you the reason why. I'll tell you the reason why. One morning as we woke before the dawn, a fluttering sound we heard, circling round our kitchen lamp. There came that dreadful bird. There came that dreadful bird. My sweet Marie grabbed hold of me, said, "Don't go to the mine. If a blackbird flies before the dawn, by dusk someone will die. By dusk someone will die." Well, I said, "My dear, please have no fear. I'll be home by supper time." But a cold car crushed the life from me in the darkness of that mine. In the darkness of that mine. Oh, winged death, why'd you come for me before it was my time? You took me from my family, left nothing but tears behind. Left nothing but tears behind. Oh, winged death, why'd you come for me before it was my time? You took me from my family, left nothing but tears behind. Left nothing but tears flutter of black wings at dawn. No one should know that fear. No one should know that fear. Oh, winged death, why'd you come for me before it was my time? Took me from my family, left nothing but tears behind, left nothing but tears behind. Oh, winged death, why'd you come for me before it was my time? You took me from my family, left nothing but tears behind. Good God, left nothing but tears behind. Thank you. On the album, Bruce Molsky, one of the all-time great fiddle players, does a really wonderful line on that song. It's all on YouTube too. You don't have to even pay for it. So here's I'm gonna shift the tone a little bit. A little more fun. Aren't we all eager for spring? I hear, I've got a cough. There's coughs. It's like, Jesus, the snow, the cold. And I thought it was cold in the Hudson Valley, and then I was in Montreal several weeks ago. It was 9 below zero in the daytime without the wind, and just like, come on already. Okay, so this song involves a dog and life's vicissitudes. Well, Fluky doesn't even begin to describe the way life feels these days. Crisis a minute has become the norm. Worries just won't go away. Bills are piled high, windows are barred, tread on my tires worn thin. Got such an assortment of problems, I don't know where to begin. So I take my old dog for a 7-mile walk, stare at the clouds in the sky, sit on a rock on the top of a hill, and just simply wonder why. Why am I here? Where am I headed? Is there an end to these woes? Then the sun peeks out and a rainbow appears, and my dog licks me on my nose. That's when I realize things ain't half as bad as they seem to be. I got 2 good legs, it's a beautiful day, and I know my dog loves me. I decided to take it all a day at a time. I made myself a little oath. I'm gonna start each day with a prayer and end each day with a toast. I'm gonna start each day with a prayer and end each day with a toast. I got back to my house, I paid one of my bills, made a new resume. I called an old friend I hadn't seen for years. He said I'd made his day. He was behind on his rent, his roof had a leak, he was fighting with his wife. I said, sounds like you could use a little dose of my new approach to life. You see, I realize things ain't half as bad as they seem to be. I got 2 good legs, it's a beautiful day, and I know my dog loves me. I decided to take it all a day at a time. I made myself a little oath. I'm gonna start each day with a prayer and end each day with a toast. I'm gonna start each day with a prayer and end each day with a toast. drawing toward a close here. Well, all of your life you struggle and strive to get just a little ahead. Days of rest few and far between. You rush from your desk to your bed. Someday you'll sit on a nice heap of money. Your mate will wear silk and gold rings. You'll dine on food aplenty. But where will you be when she sings? When she sings, when the fat lady sings, where will you be when she sings? You spend all your days caught up in the game. But where will you be when she sings? When it's time to account for your days and your ways, when you're asked to tally the score, they don't add up the piles of pennies. They don't measure the size of your floors. They're more apt to ask how you treated your friends, how you dealt with your enemies too. When the going got tough, did you turn tail and lie? Or stand firm and stick to the truth? When she sings, when the fat lady sings, where will you be when she sings? Spend all your days caught up in the game. But where will you be when she sings? Did you give more than you got? Forgive more than you fought? Relish every day? Or let time slip away? All of your life you struggle and strive to get just a little ahead. Days of rest few and far between. You rush from your desk to your bed. But when she sings, when the fat lady sings, where will you be when she sings? You spend all your days caught up in the game. But where will you be? Where will you be? Where will you be when she sings? Where will you be? Where will you be? Where will you be when she sings? Thank you.
Andy Revkin on Bound for Glory, broadcast live from the cafe at Annabelle Taylor Hall at Cornell. Engineering tonight, Terry Kelleher, Dave Rice, Buddha Buck, Carrie Marster. Studio engineering, Grace G. World Wide Web Gurus, Pamela Goddard, Mark Anbinder, Todd Hutchison, Alan Rose. Hospitality, Jim Murphy. Graphics, Jim Harper Designs. For the Friends of Bound for Glory, Lavonna Taylor, Karen Remley, Neil Rotach, Helena Micah, Andrew Himmelfarb, Catherine Hunter, Ray Caveney, Carrie Kerr, and Jim Harper, President. Phil Shapiro saying good night to you. Join us next Sunday night as Pat Wichter does Bound for Glory. We're WVBR FM, Ithaca, New York. Have yourself a great week. Good night now.
Thank you all. So this one's just for that, for the room. Okay, let's see. Oh God, just something really. Let's see. Okay, Traveling Man, Pink Anderson. One reason Pink Floyd was named Pink Floyd is because of Pink Anderson. He was an old Southern black traveling blues player, and I learned this from Roy Bookbinder, who was a Rhode Island white Jewish interface between generations. He actually brought Pink Anderson up to Newport, Rhode Island, not to the festival, but to a folk club, so that Pink could get enough money to buy a set of dentures. So this is called Traveling Man. I think I do it in this key. just want to tell you about a traveling man. His home was down in Tennessee. Made his living stealing chickens or anything that he could see. That traveling man ran so fast, his feet would never stay in a row. When a freight train fast, no matter how fast, he'd always get on board. I said he was a traveling man, certainly was a traveling man. He was the most travelest man that ever was in that land. He traveled everywhere, he was known for miles around. But he didn't get caught and he didn't get whooped till the police shot him down. Well, the traveling man went to the well one day to get himself a bucket of water. The distance that rascal had to go was about 2 miles and a quarter. Well, he got to that well and he filled his bucket, but he stumbled and fell down. He ran back to the house and he got another bucket, for the water had touched the ground. I said he was a traveling man, certainly was a traveling man. He was the most travelest man that ever was in that land. Well, he traveled everywhere, he was known for miles around. But he didn't get caught and he didn't get whooped till the police shot him down. That traveling man was on the Titanic ship when it was sinking low. Had his head hung over that railing, he was feeling kind of slow. But when that rascal jumped overboard, they all shouted, said that he was a fool. But about 2 minutes right after that, he was shooting dice in Liverpool. I said he was a traveling man, certainly was a traveling man. He was the most travelest man that ever was in that land. Well, he traveled everywhere, he was known for miles around. But he didn't get caught and he didn't get whooped till the police shot him down. Well, the police shot him with a rifle, the bullet went through his head. People, they came from miles around just to see that little rascal was really dead. Well, they called down south where his mama lived, she was all upset in tears. But when they went and opened up the coffin lid, you know that he had disappeared. I said he was a traveling man, he certainly was a traveling man. He was the most travelest man who ever was in that land. Well, he traveled everywhere, he was known for miles around. But he didn't get caught and he didn't get whooped till the police shot him down. Well, the police had him up to hang one day. The police had him up to hang one day. Da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what? Shoot. The judge, he asked that little old man just what did he have to say. Well, the traveling man said, "Judge, your honor, won't you bow your head in prayer?" Then he blinked one leg, blinked one eye, and twitched one leg and went up through the air. Sorry. You get the idea. Thanks again.